The movie begins with a man nicknamed 81. He is a combat engineer who must lead a convoy into enemy territory. During the journey, part of the convoy suffers mechanical problems. This forces them to stop. While going to check the damaged vehicle, 81 meets his younger brother, who happens to be in the same group in his unit. Without wasting time, 81 begins to repair the damaged part of the vehicle. In that moment, his brother reminds him of a promise they both had made long ago to try to join the Rangers, an elite group of the United States Army, recognized for its discipline and for taking on the most dangerous missions. 81 hesitates. He thinks he is no longer the right age to try and believes his opportunity passed years ago. But the memory of that promise makes him change his mind, and he finally accepts to apply along with his brother. In that instant, the group is suddenly attacked by enemies. 81 wastes no time and runs to protect his brother. But an explosion leaves him unconscious for a few minutes. Upon waking up, he goes to look for his younger brother, and upon finding him, finds him lifeless, leaving him with a deep emotional wound. 2 years later, we see 81 in a military transport. He decides to fulfill the promise he made to his brother and will present himself as a candidate to be a ranger. Upon arriving at the ranger training base, the first sergeant welcomes all the candidates and makes it clear from the start that the training will be brutal, explaining that every week there will be extreme physical and mental tests and that those who do not meet the requirements will be eliminated from the program. During those testing days, the candidates must face intense training of all kinds. These include push-ups under the rain, running several kilometers, and various high-demand physical tests. Month after month, many of the applicants are left out, which reduces the size of the group more and more. Inside the place, the candidates begin to spread rumors about 81. Some comment that on his last mission, he carried his wounded brother for 20 miles on his shoulders. Later, the applicants continue training hard to be one of the Rangers. At night, 81, since the passing of his brother, has not managed to sleep well due to memories that return constantly. That is why he takes pills to fall asleep. The next day, during one of the water tests, his trauma manifests with great force. His superior, upon noticing this, has him called to go to his office. In the office, his superiors discover that he suffers from severe insomnia and that his mental health is gradually deteriorating, something that for them does not fit the profile of a ranger. His superior tells him to submit his resignation before his condition worsens. Despite the pressure, 81 flatly refuses, as he feels that if he resigns now, it would be betraying the promise he made to his younger brother. Shortly after the final test is about to begin, his superior sends him as captain of the group, whether he likes it or not, so that he can demonstrate that he has the leadership capacity necessary to belong to the Rangers. The test consists of rescuing a pilot who was supposedly shot down in an enemy zone. Later, all the teams head in helicopters to the combat zone. Once on the ground, they begin to advance toward the point where the pilot is believed to be located. During the night, while the unit tries to take a brief rest, the soldiers remain on high alert as they see how artillery fire begins to pass dangerously close to their position. The next day, the team arrives at a location where they find a strange ship that does not seem to belong to any known army. While the group tries to investigate the structure, 81's group separates from the rest to inspect the area and locate the jet where the pilot should be. At the same time, the other soldiers try to destroy the mysterious ship, but notice with surprise that the structure does not suffer any damage. In that moment, the object begins to move and everyone understands that it is not a common ship, but a huge robot that activates and immediately fires an area, scanning laser, sweeping every corner of the forest to locate the intruders. The robot attacks quickly, causing the group to retreat. 81 saves 44, upon seeing her paralyzed with fear without doing anything. In the middle of the chaos, Soldier 7 suffers a fracture in his leg, while 57 received a deep impact in the chest, leaving him in a critical situation. Shortly after, 81 returns to the top to use the radio, but sees that the machine is prowling around. Upon arrival, he discovers that the device is completely destroyed. In that moment, he understands that the robot possesses motion sensors and annihilation systems, so if they remain there, they will die. When the machine is scanning the place, it detects them. The group runs desperately while carrying Soldier 7. After moving far enough away, they discover something even worse. The coordinates were wrong, and everything indicates they were sent as test subjects for something unknown. They even discover that their weapons were loaded with blank rounds, confirming that the mission was never a true rescue. Now, as the leader, 81 must make a decision, and decides that his goal will be to lead the team to a nearby village where they can find help. Later, the group encounters a massive river that they must cross using ropes. 81, for his part, manages to pass first and secures the rope to a tree so that the others can move forward. Everything seems to be going well until Soldier 7 gets trapped halfway through the crossing, so 81 and Soldier 44 return to help him. But in that moment, the robot detects them again and launches explosives at the group of soldiers. They all fall into the water where, in the midst of the robot's attacks, they manage to survive and reach the shore. The group realizes that they lost one of their comrades during the robot's attack. Despite the pain, they continue their way without looking back. Shortly after, the group arrives at the village. They discover that the machine was at that place before and destroyed part of the base. In that moment, it is when they understand something even more disturbing. That machine is not from Earth. 81 knows that staying there means certain death, so they must keep moving before the robot finds them. Soldier 15 asks for a few seconds to honor the fallen comrades, remembering that, before being soldiers, they are still human beings. During the conversation, 15 calls 81 a hero, which causes his anger, since he confesses that he could never save his brother and that the medal he received for that attempt only reminds him that he failed in his mission. He now has a new responsibility to lead the men who are still alive safely. Later, 81 finds a huge armored vehicle called War Guardian. They manage to turn it on, but they see that it is stuck, so they begin to pull with a rope to get it out of there. Shortly after, 15 decides to risk everything to get the supplies and manages to find them. But what he does not know is that the machine is there. It attacks him, and 15 dies immediately, leaving the ammunition near his team. With the machine closing the distance, they load the main weapon and open fire. But the bullets do not seem to make even a scratch on that metallic structure. The robot responds to the attack with a devastating force, causing critical damage to the vehicle until it loses control and ends up going down the slope at full speed. In the middle of the robot's attacks, 81 intelligently fires an impact cannon at the rocks of the mountain, which ends up burying the machine. When 81 regains consciousness, he finds himself in a desolate scene. All of his team has been eliminated in the confrontation. He searches through the rubble with the hope of finding someone alive, but realizes that the machine is no longer in the place. Looking up, he observes how the robot emits strange signals toward space. In that moment, 81 sees Soldier 7 and immediately drags him to a safe place. There, 7 reveals to him that he knew his brother and the great dream he had of fighting alongside him in the Rangers. In that moment, the machine reappears, and 81, observing it carefully, notices that the robot expels air through a specific area of its structure, understanding that this ventilation system would be its weak point. 81 runs toward a nearby mining area where he manages to activate heavy machinery. His plan is to attract the robot and seal its ventilation using the environment to his advantage. With a tractor, he manages to push it into a rain of rocks that completely blocks its ventilation system. The machine tries to resist, but 81 does not give up until finally the robot's internal system collapses and the internal pressure causes a massive explosion that destroys it completely. The next day, exhausted and with multiple wounds, 81 carries Soldier 7 on his shoulders, finally achieving what he could not do with his brother. Upon arrival, 81 leaves Soldier 7 and tells him that he will be fine. There, the Master Sergeant informs him that those machines have begun to appear in different parts of the planet. The Sergeant tells him that the armies are preparing for a global invasion, although no one knew how to stop it until this moment. 81 explains to them that the true weak point of those machines is their ventilation system, demonstrating that even the most advanced technology has a weak point. Finally, the Sergeant thanks him for the valuable information and officially recognizes him as a Ranger. From that day on, 81 must lead a new team with the mission to face those machines and stop the threat that haunts the planet. This starts a new war. And in this way, the movie ends. If you made it this far, do not forget to leave your like and subscribe. See you in a new video.